welcome back to another episode of the Nerd Variety Podcast. I am your host with the most, the best
I thought
host.
I had the most.
No.
Oh.
I'm Hannah.
Hostess with the mostest.
Whatever. I don't abide by your gendered terms. Thank you very much.
Exactly, Josh.
I'll see myself out.
Thank you.
Good.
I am Hannah, and I'm joined today by Josh and Hunter.
Hello.
Who I'm
Hi.
joined by every week.
You are?
Unless one of us is sick or something, which luckily has not happened recently.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. I don't have any wood around me.
Knock on everything.
But,
It's
yeah.
fine.
Oh, this is wood. Never mind. I found
There
it.
you go.
Yes.
All right, but on a slightly lighter note, today we're going to be talking about some mythical creatures, and this applies to monsters
Crikey.
and creatures. They could be magical in origin or not. Just
There can be
Fake
space worms
creatures.
that try
Could
to
be
eat the Millennium
fake
Falcon.
we
Okay,
don't
okay,
necessarily. Yeah, we do not have to abide by fantasy. I might bring up a Doctor Who monster or two.
Yeah.
Anything from D&D or Harry Potter is fair game. So I'm going to start by opening the floor up to you guys, because I told you to look up some of your favorite creatures. I want to know what you guys came up with.
So one that I've been.
If I had
Oh,
so
uh,
much-
a zoo, I would save.
Why are you interrupting me? I started.
You hadn't said anything.
I did start.
oof.
Maybe it's the lag there. That's
Oh,
bothering me.
classic Josh
There-
lag.
Fine.
Oh no.
Because of your
Not again.
lag, I will speak first.
Excuse me.
Yes. So the first one that came to my mind, like instantly, I didn't even have to think about it, is hydras. Or hydras. A hydra. And I remember I've seen so many different variations on this, all basically the same, but there's just some. I guess it's largely the scale of what you see. I've seen a few that are actually mobile. Some that have like legs and can kind of walk around. Those are some creepy ones. There's also
So what is like the classic Hydra in your opinion?
well, it's hard to say for a classic one. There are some that I think of first before others. Like the first one I really remember is from Diablo 2. The sorceress class, I think it is, can actually, or maybe it's the druid. They can summon a hydra, and it'll like shoot out fireballs. It has like 3 heads. They'll shoot out fireballs or whatever you choose, and at your enemies, and they're really helpful. They're really cool. But then I also think of the hydra in Dark Souls. Those things scare the crap out of me. I don't know if you've seen them, but they are like sometimes, like the first time I saw them, I was surprised and so scared, and I'm like, how am I supposed to deal with this thing? Because there's like 6 or 7 heads, I think.
Yeah, I
And
recommend
they're
everybody
giant.
look up a picture.
Yeah, they are
I'm sure
giant,
anything from Dark Souls is terrifying anyway.
pretty much. And
Well,
they'll-
it seems very large.
Yeah, they'll spit like acid or something at you, and it like they'll all do it at the same time, pretty much. It's so fun to finally kill them though, and just one at a time. It's like you have to wait, get close enough so that they'll like try to bite you or something, one head at a time, and then they'll kind of stay there for a second. You just attack their heads, and eventually it'll just like cut off. But then you have to do that like 7 or 6 more times or whatever until all the heads are done. And once that's done, you're just like, oh, thank God. This thing's not coming back, and I'm so happy about it. And
Yeah.
that's a plus. It's wonderful in Dark Souls especially to finally beat an enemy that you know is not respawning. 'Cause they all-
Yeah. Well, it sounds like that one at least is close to what I would consider the classic Hydra, because it's the one from Greek mythology, which is probably the first one. Pretty well depicted in Disney's Hercules, I believe. But it is that sort of multi-headed creature. Do the heads grow back in Dark Souls?
In Dark Souls, no, I don't believe so.
Because I do believe that was an original aspect of that creature, that you have to like
And I
burn
know-
the heads.
Yeah, and I know some other interpretations I've seen, they do grow back. And that's
for
a
sure.
major thing. There's some, I want to say in World of Warcraft, there's one at least where like, I don't even remember how you end up dealing with it, but like it is like a more classic Hydra where like, you cut off one head and you get like two in its place.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps going.
Yeah. Are all of the ones that you know of sort of reptilian?
Generally.
Generally, they are.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So reptilian and multi-heads is kind of like the thing, but like within that there are some variations.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you said they spit acid in Dark Souls.
Yeah, I think it's acid or something, but I don't know.
Woof. Pass. No, thank you.
Yeah. I think it does poison damage, so yeah.
Acid or poison or something. Not no bueno. Not good.
Yeah.
Not a good time.
And you find them in some of the worst places. You also find them
Makes
in
sense.
some really nice places. There are some that you find when there are like no other enemies around, so you're like, okay, I can focus on one enemy at a time instead of 12.
Yeah. What'd you come up with, Josh?
I was thinking of a giant squid.
Ooh, okay.
Like, well, I would say, I'll change that. Maybe a kraken. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I was thinking like sea monsters. Squid, no, kraken. Krakens are a little more, it's a chance. Yes, it can be a land threat, but if you're talking about something in like if you're sailing on the ocean, a kraken's gonna mess your day up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're mostly portrayed in Greek literature.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would almost say maybe Norse.
Norse, yeah.
Maybe, but maybe even that I'm not.
I see Norse too.
Sure about.
Well, I typed in Kraken and it says Greek mythology.
Oh, okay.
I knew it.
Is a sea monster of tremendous size and strength, born from the Titans Oceanus and Ceto, both entities of the sea. There you go.
It shows what I know.
Yeah. So there's a giant kind of, what's the word? Just something that's shouldn't be that big living in the ocean, but just kind of comes out, kind of like some kind of prehistoric creature.
This is actually saying. Sorry, this is saying it's actually Scandinavian. What?
See, that's why I said Norse.
Get your information straight.
Yeah, something kind of Titan level. Just wrecking house on ships, and I liked the one that I saw in the live action Clash of the Titans, and also the one that was more like a squid type thing in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Kraken was cool.
Yeah.
Just wrecking house on ships and seeing them come up with different ways of killing it.
Yeah, and again, it seems like for the most part they're pretty consistent. Like it's a giant sea creature, probably with tentacles, of some kind. But again, small variations in that.
I also kind of think of the Sarlacc pit. It's like a sand version of the Kraken.
That's what I was thinking.
Sand Kraken.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Also, though, when you were first mentioning like a giant squid, of course, the first thing that came to my mind was the Watchmen. So the space squid thing. That Ozymandias.
Oh yeah, his alien, the alien that he births and that died in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It like messed everyone up.
Yeah. Oh, well, what was it?
But that's not really a Kraken. That was in the space squid theme that you were talking about, or the squid thing.
The giant squids, giant sea monster type thing. Yeah. Krakens are cool though.
Okay, I have not seen that, and
it's not in the movie. They didn't use it for the movie. They went with a different ending. It's in the graphic novel.
Well, I haven't read it either.
Kind of in the show,
and
the show
I
takes
haven't
place after.
seen that, and I'm feeling like I'm okay with that.
You can read the graphic novel. It'd be a good read because it's a limited series. So you just it's just that graphic novel. You don't have to read Doomsday Clock or anything like that. Just watch it.
I just don't. I don't know. Anyway,
it's okay. Hannah's not a nerd.
Yeah.
Hannah's not nerdy.
No,
enough.
I don't know. You said he was
podcast.
he birthed an alien.
He brought it from another dimension.
Okay, that's different. I was thinking like. I'm like, that's not for me.
No, it's not like Men in Black.
Okay, all right, cool. I'm like,
oh, that's so cute.
There was also one in Aquaman. He summons I think it's a kraken. I'm not exactly
I
sure
haven't
what
seen
it
that.
is,
Yeah.
but it's yeah, it's pretty dope. It wrecks house
Sea monster.
underwater instead of just like smacking ships around.
Underwater houses.
Yes, all the underwater houses. It wrecked all of them.
One of the ones I wanted to talk about, because I've been playing The Witcher 3 recently, and they have a lot of sort of classic monsters in there. I've
They
been
have
enjoying.
krakens too.
Do they have a kraken?
I think
have
in the
not
second one, they have
I want to fight a kraken.
something like that.
Maybe I'll have to get the second one now.
Let us know how that goes.
But they have a lot of classic creatures. They've got like the griffin and a basilisk, although it's not like the basilisk from Harry Potter. Those are they're different sorts of things, so we could talk about that. But the one that was like originally very evident to me, I was like, that's not what I was expecting, was the vampires. Because they have like this vampire tab in the bestiary, and you're like, that's not what I thought that was. And even if you're not, thinking Edward Cullen when you think vampire, you're probably thinking humanoid or look like appears human for the most part. Like I feel like that's the way vampires are pretty much always portrayed. And so
some human bat hybrid.
Yeah, and they do have vampires like that in The Witcher, but they also have these that are more like giant bats. Look a lot more like giant bats.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting take on a classic creature that I think made it a lot less hokey.
Yeah.
Hokey?
I want to say.
More demonic.
I mean, honestly,
like, cheesy.
I mean, honestly, to me, that's just in general with their monsters and everything. That's what I love about The Witcher, just as a series, because they have like some of these classic monsters, but they also have like general categories and then different variants of these kinds of monsters. And vampires specifically, that's another one that I remember.
It's the one that's most clearly like, that's weird.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe it wouldn't have been hokey if they'd been humanoid, because I've never really disliked the vampires in Skyrim, which has a very similar feel, as you can imagine. But they are all humanoid, and they have like this, I guess it's like a health tap move that they can do, which kind of goes with the whole vampire thing. So they were humanoids, and that went well, but it was just really interesting to be like, that's a big old bat, and not what I was expecting, but okay.
And you're in the Blood and Wine DLC, right?
Yes. I have to remember which one's which. Yes.
Yeah. So, and that has some more traditional, more traditional vampires, as well as some of the crazier ones.
Which I think is also interesting that they didn't just say like, hey, we didn't want to go classic vampire, so we did this instead. They actually did both.
Yeah.
It is kind of fascinating that they're like, we're going to make up our own thing, but then also do this other thing.
Give you all the vampires that you might want.
All the vampires.
And again,
none of them sparkle, and it's great.
Yeah, that's
and again, after that,
vampires.
You have very specific names for each of them too, as well. So you can sound real smart if you know all of them, or really nerdy, let's say.
Yeah.
Very inquisitive.
Yeah, I have them in a list, so that counts, right?
Sure.
Yeah, that counts.
Sure.
I have them on my other screen. Hunter, did you have a second one?
Yeah. Now it's been tough just to try to figure out one second one that I want to talk about, because oh man, this is a topic I could go on about.
Well, that's okay. We might do that.
Maybe.
I don't have plans.
Yeah. But one that I was thinking of is kind of like, I'm gonna probably be very general and broad and say kind of draconids or
draconids.
Draconids. Dragonid. I think it'd be draconids.
It's whatever you want to say.
Draconids.
Yes.
Use the whole animal
Draco's
kingdom.
Knees.
Use the whole animal name.
Oh yes, the Draconids. Yes.
Use the whole animal name.
Yeah. So, and to me that includes things like very different kinds of dragons. So there are like more, I guess you could say, natural like animal dragons that you would see in. Well, I don't know actually.
Skyrim.
Skyrim. Well,
I mean,
even
those
in
are still like
Skyrim,
more
there's
intelligent than
yeah, and
like.
they're kind of magical in
Yeah,
Skyrim.
Yeah. Well, Winter
Even
Dragon's
in
not magical.
what?
Winter Dragon's
Yeah, and
not
that's
magical.
what I'm thinking because like I know there are times because I know I know I can recall some. I have recalled some when thinking about this
non-magical
earlier, but now
dragons.
it's hard to remember for sure.
Non-magical
Because I know,
dragons.
like in World of Warcraft or just Warcraft, you have like dragon aspects and that kind of thing. So these are people that like they can shapeshift as well, and they're usually tied to different uh, specific things. So like there's the Lifebinder, who's like in charge of like all life basically on the planet, and then there's one that's in charge of the Emerald Dream. So it's a whole other thing. They go to like this other dimension basically to control other stuff. And there's some that are in charge of like magic specifically, some that are in charge of like the earth and everything. It gets pretty crazy if you keep following that. But then there's also like, which to me I guess is kind of similar to The Witcher. I'm even still confused about The
Where
Witcher
they're
because
like
I know there are some dragons in The Witcher that are, I think red dragons are pretty standard. I think they're like animals basically, but then you also have like gold dragons, which are I think are like people that
more
change into
intelligent
dragons.
and yeah.
They're
And they have
that whole tier of dragons from like you said, from the animalistic ones, just some kind of like some dinosaur looking dragons, to like the most magical in like human intelligence.
Yeah, and you can get into like wyverns, which they're kind of like almost a subspecies of dragon, or they're very similar a lot of times.
Well, in The Witcher, so are basilisks. Like they're under the Draconids tab in the bestiary, but in Harry Potter, there's basilisks and there's dragons, and like we never really. I mean, I haven't been a long time since I've read any like informational books about Harry Potter.
Actually, I guess that's
I don't know how
example
associated they are.
You mean Fantastic Beasts?
Right.
Which
I did read cover to cover, but
yeah. Again, sorry, I was interrupting you a bit, but yeah, Harry Potter. That is one where they're more animals.
Yeah, they pretty much all breathe fire, and they just are different sizes and colors and toughness. Yeah. Versus something like in D&D, or in D&D related games where you have like different colors, and like this one's a fire dragon, but this blue one, that's an electricity dragon. And like that feels more magical to me because it's not just fire. It's like, oh yeah, this one controls like
storms
lightning and all this stuff. And then of course you have Dragonborn.
Yeah.
Which are people dragons, and they can do that stuff. And
so
that
can
feels
absorb people's dragon souls.
So that feels more magical than just sort of like I'm a big lizard and I fly around and I breathe fire.
Yep.
So.
And I like gold and eating cows and people.
Well, and I guess there's
the liking gold, I feel like, and shows a little bit more intelligence.
And then I guess there's like How to Train Your dragons, which are like there's a lot of different kinds, but they're not really magical. They're more like they can do different things, but that seems more like evolution instead of magic.
Yeah. Just smart, just very dog-like intelligent, but but with a lot of variations.
Yeah,
just like dogs.
Yep. Of course, dogs don't like breathe acid or.
Not yet.
Yeah. Where we're going though with the breeding, we could have ourselves a flying acid spitting dog, next 100, 500 years.
I hope I am dead long before that happens.
See, but you know what, Josh, you say we could have that. Have you been to Australia yet?
No, I haven't, so I don't know.
If there's something terrifying, it's probably in Australia.
I bet it.
How do you think the fires started?
Whoa.
Hunter, come on now.
Dragons!
You gotta donate. Now you have to donate some money to some kind of organization.
Shame on you.
I'm sure there's at least one down there that at least spits acid. Maybe it glides around. That would be pretty
It's probably
cool.
just stomach acid, but that's still a pretty powerful acid.
Yeah,
Probably just
yeah.
like vomits on you, and like that counts
Yeah.
because it's just concentrated stomach acid. We're getting off topic. Josh,
No,
do you
we're
have a
not.
second creature?
I've always thought griffins were cool.
Mm.
I like
Yeah.
griffins.
Yeah, I mean, like you have an eagle. Eagles are awesome. They fly around. They can snatch things up with their claws. They're just majestic, and freedom, America. Lions are awesome. They're powerful kings of the jungle, savannah, whatever you want to call it. And everybody loves lions. Big cats. So put them together. What do you get? A griffin. Griffin does all that cool stuff, and they're and I think they have human intelligence.
Well, I mean, I was also gonna say like griffins. I've seen a lot of different variations of them. So I've also seen some that might have like a snake for a tail, but that may just be specific to like Dragon's Dogma. I remember that.
Yeah, just
that's a griffin specifically.
I'm pretty sure it is because it has like a lion.
Are you sure that's not a chimera?
Yeah, that's a chimera, and the chimeras are usually chimeras. They like to mix like common animals, like give them the head of a lion, the wings of an eagle, the feet of a bear, and the tail of a snake.
This says that I think the most typical one would be a lion's head, a goat's body, and a serpent tail, which is not actually a serpent tail. It's like a serpent head as a tail.
I'm sorry, you're talking about a chimera?
Yeah.
Or a griffin?
A chimera. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
Which I think I feel like the word also has been used in other aspects. So like the one thing I always think of with chimeras is Full Metal Alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're like the definition of chimera in that universe is just sort of like this joining of two creatures, and it's terrible and it makes me cry. It's horrible.
I just remembered. I was like chimera and Full Metal. Oh, I think my brain was trying to forget what I saw.
Little dog girl.
I know nothing.
Nope, stop it.
I know nothing about that. I've never seen it.
My heart.
You ever watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood or Full Metal Alchemist?
It's like episode 6 or something too.
I've mentioned this a lot, but I've never seen any of it.
Well,
oh my gosh.
Well, you've got time to watch it now.
I'm still finishing Clone Wars. Hold on.
I saw a post online with people being like, "Who's the worst animated father?" And the father from that wasn't in the ranking, and everyone was like, "No, it's this guy."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was terrible. Anyway.
Yeah.
Hunter
right next to Goku.
Goku is a fine father.
So Chimera is just sort of like
video, actually.
This joining of creatures, and so that's why it's like the lion and the goat and the snake.
Yeah.
And so I think a griffin is specifically like a lion and an eagle.
Yeah.
And then I actually was wondering what's the difference between a griffin and a hippogriff.
Hippogriffs are cooler.
This is saying that like
they're more annoying sounding.
This says a hippogriff is half griffin and half horse.
Yeah.
That's even more
maybe
confusing.
Half eagle, half horse.
So it would be so it would be a quarter eagle, a quarter lion, and half horse.
No, I'm sorry. So first of all, that doesn't make sense. Then you're missing a full quarter. But no, it's half.
quarter, half.
Oh, I thought you said quarter. I'm like,
dude, I'm a math teacher. Don't question me.
Hey, no, it's what it is
she at least knows fractions.
It's half horse, half eagle, half lion. It's like man, bear, pig. It's half man, half bear, and half pig.
That's not how it works.
It's like a panda, we're talking about
something
half
being
white,
actually
fully
bred.
Asian.
What, Josh? I missed that.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
This says that a hippogriff is an eagle and a horse. So it's some sort of eagle horse combination. I think that's sort of like the generally accepted one.
I'm thinking buckbeak.
Yeah, that's
I'm not seeing any lion in there.
No, it's like it's horse bird.
Yeah, I mean it's big. It
kind of like
likes,
Pegasus,
it likes meat.
I guess
it likes meat. Yeah,
but like
still has
more
like
feathery.
A beak. Yeah,
more birdie.
More bird.
And less horse with wings.
Yeah.
On a side note, I did like the going back to Clash of Titans. I did like the Pegasus in that one. Pegasus and the it was like just a black horse with black wings. It was just nothing fancy about it. It was just badass.
Now I'm thinking of the horse in
it is
there's a mount you can get in Odyssey that's a lot like that, and it's just awesome because it's like purple and black, but and it has wings, and it's like it's also like a unicorn. So it's like the most awesome thing you could get.
Yeah. I think what's interesting is I feel like a lot of times these things are more or less like interchangeable. That's what I'm looking for. Or people like view them as such, where it's like, yeah, Griffin, Hippogriff, kind of the same thing. Hippogriff, Pegasus, basically the same thing. Pegasus, unicorn, basically the same thing. But like, at least in Harry Potter, like they're all very different, distinct things.
Okay, I've never heard unicorn and Pegasus as like the same thing.
I think it's
Those
because
seem
a
very
lot of people
distinct.
are like, I don't know.
Or
I think there's like a lot of stuff where like unicorns have wings, or Pegasus.
I don't think
unicorns. Or is it just, or they just put a horn on a Pegasus and think it's the same. It's the same thing.
Yeah, they're like, it's a horse creature. That's magical.
It's a Pegasus, but it's got a horn. It's a Pegasus.
It's a pegacorn.
Pegacorn. No, I don't like that.
That sounds weird. I don't like it either.
It does. I don't like I'm not going to say what it makes me think of.
Nope. Moving on.
I mean, that would be effective in battle, I would think, if you're riding a Pegasus with a unicorn horn.
Yeah. You'd be like, just fly full speed, like dive bomb someone and just stab them.
Because even though like a unicorn would be efficient fighting in battle, I mean, all it has is that one horn. Anyway,
Well, and also I feel like unicorns, there's a lot of different ways that they've been portrayed. Because I've definitely seen some that are like, oh, look at this beautiful creature and it's innocent and perfect. And I've seen some where it's like, it will impale you.
Yeah.
Or it's gonna stab you.
And there's no in between.
I saw one where it eats people's souls, but it lures them in with being so beautiful and majestic.
I'm actually reading a really fascinating, like, it's like a young adult book series, but it's like a horror thriller kind of thing. It's really good. And the creatures, and the creatures in it are like humanoid, I think all of them are. Some of them I haven't come across, but so like a Pegasus is like a type of person, and apparently people will like, it's all about like selling these humanoid animals on the black market, and it's terrifying. And they grind down the unicorn horns and they make you get high.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a very different kind of unicorn than I'm used to, but okay.
What is that? What's a series called now? I think I've heard of it. It's called
Not Even Bones.
Oh, no. What have I heard?
I spent $10 on the first book in the series and read it in a weekend, and then spent $10 on the second book and read it in like, I didn't sleep until I was done, basically.
Nice.
Really good. Yeah. So very much enjoyed those.
I know I've seen that joke. I mean, it was just a joke somewhere where, it was like, yeah, we take unicorns, we cut their horns off, we grind up the horns, and we snort them. Yeah. It's the best high you'll ever have, man.
Oh my god.
That sounds like a Rick and Morty thing. Are you sure it's not Rick and Morty?
Maybe so. I don't know. I've heard it somewhere as a joke or as a joke on a TV show.
Mine's definitely not Rick and Morty, and it's not a joke, because there's also, the whole thing is just kind of terrible because it's all about black market and people eat people's eyeballs for fun and stuff.
Or using or just taking different parts of fantasy creatures and using them for drugs, like smoke. You could smoke the feather of I don't know. Give me an animal that might have a feather that you can.
A bird.
You can smoke.
I was about to say a snake. I'm like, oh wait, never mind.
I don't know.
I mean, depends on which basilisk you're looking at. Some of them have feathers.
Yeah, you could smoke some basilisk venom.
Oof. This conversation took a weird turn.
It did.
Okay, yeah.
This time it's not my fault.
I
want to talk about mermaids. Mermaids,
all right.
And specifically, like, mermaids and sirens.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like they're very closely associated.
A lot of times they're the same, depending on where you look.
Right. But I feel like in general, it's interesting because I feel like there's like some overlap. Because I feel like in general, mermaids are like, oh, they're nice and they're beautiful and they'll sit on a rock and brush her hair.
Insane.
And sirens are like, I'm also beautiful, but I'm gonna kill you. Yeah. But then mermaids just kind of like sometimes jump over into siren territory.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, no, we're evil and terrifying now. And you're like, all right.
And we'll eat you.
Yeah. But again, I feels like one of those things where there's like not really a middle ground. I don't know. I guess maybe in Harry Potter there's a middle ground.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think those are the ones that are
chill.
Yeah. They have nice voices, but they're just not pretty to look at.
They're not pretty, and they like are maybe not aggressive, but like territorial.
Yeah, yeah.
It kind of seems like.
Mhm.
So, but it's interesting
hard
to
to say.
kind of have these two ends of the spectrum there.
Yeah. I haven't finished reading all the Harry Potter books, so I don't know for sure. But at least from the movie, I know you don't really get a lot of time really figuring out are they mermaids or sirens?
They're mermaids.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You don't really learn a lot about them. Again, at least
No,
from the
but
movie.
but you learn that they're not, Ariel.
Yeah.
You're like, that's not.
See,
Yeah.
What
okay,
about-
that tells you something about my Disney knowledge, because as soon as you say Ariel, I'm like, well, of course they're not Ariel. They're in the water, not in the sky. It's like, oh wait,
Oh, like
other
Ariel.
It's like, oh wait,
Gotcha.
Come on,
other
man.
Ariel.
No,
Come on.
like the Little Mermaid, the little one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I also want to know if you guys have, in the last couple minutes here, do you guys have like some unique creatures that you really like? So I was gonna say one of my favorite categories is kind of that griffin, hippogriff sort of category, but I'm actually a big fan of the Thestrals from Harry Potter.
Thestrals. What are those?
Those are the ones
Thestrals,
that pull the carriages. You
yeah, and
can't
you
see
can't
them
see
unless
them.
you've seen someone die.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm kind of taking.
No, it's
I don't know
fine.
if I want to. Maybe I don't want to see
They're
one.
kind of creepy. They're kind of bony, and they have like wings.
But they're like mostly harmless. Like they're
Yeah.
just kind of big horse creatures. They're very gentle. I mean, they're having them pull the wagons for like first grade. They go when they're 11, not first grade. 11-year-olds still. Like they're like, hey, escort these 11-year-olds. Technically, the 11-year-olds on our boat. 12-year-olds. So
Yeah.
like they're harmless and just kind of generally misunderstood and like taken as a bad omen. But
Yeah.
like in the 5th movie, Luna is like
It's like,
hanging
oh
out
yeah.
with him. She's like, yeah, they chill. We chill. We hang out.
Yeah.
And Harry's
Just,
like, all right.
Luna's pretty chill about everything, though. So
Yeah.
She is, but like I think that's what makes it so cool, because like all of them are kind of misunderstood. Oh, the Thestrals and Luna, and she's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we bonded.
Yeah, we're
But
cool. Hang out.
But even though they're kind of ugly and like look kind of desiccated, they still are just like gentle creatures, and they don't get enough love.
Yeah. Two others on my list here. Hunter had said dragons. So I also had phoenixes.
Oh yeah.
I always think are cool. I know they can look in different ways, but they're always just, it's a bird. It's a bird that can use fire and always it can like live forever.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just cool. Tree people.
Tree
Yeah,
Like
and
Wookiees?
no, I said tree people.
Wookiees are tree people.
No, stop it.
They are
Groot
tree people.
or
What are you
an
talking?
Ent.
Okay.
Like Groot or an Ent or just
Okay.
a dryad or something like that. Like a tree has a spirit in it. The tree is alive.
So would you
Dryads aren't like tree people though, are they? I
Well-
think maybe just not the ones I'm familiar with.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I was
the
gonna
spirits
say-
of trees. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like in classic mythology you had nymphs, and
Yeah.
the nymphs
Yeah,
could turn into trees. They'd be like, "Oh no, don't chase me! I'm a tree now."
Yeah.
So it's like kind of a tree person, but more of
Yeah.
like a spirit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like Groot and Ents are kind of like the most tree-like tree people.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm thinking like those that dwell in trees and live in
Oh,
sometimes. See,
No.
that's what I was
Like
thinking when you said
Ewoks.
tree people.
No, not tree people.
Well, yeah, that's why I was
people
thinking
that
like Wookiees.
are, how about people? How about I say people trees?
humanoid trees.
See, now that I would get.
Yeah, tree ghost.
Josh,
Tree-
you're doing worse at this than Hannah is.
I'm trying to help you out. Hunter.
Hannah is helping me much better than you,
Thank
Okay.
you. I
which is
tried.
probably a first.
Now I'm hurt.
Good. So one that I was also thinking of is, well, and it's a bit tough, I guess, to decide because there's two that I'm kind of thinking of side by side, but I'll go with, I guess what I'm most familiar is the interpretation in Warcraft, the Valkyr, which I guess are like Valkyrie.
Okay.
So I can explain a little better in World of Warcraft what they are. They're like kind of like spirits, basically, that are in charge of determining whether or not individuals are worthy to like ascend to what they call the halls of valor. But so it's kind of really tied to a lot of that is taken from Norse mythology, but they also they do kind of their own interpretation of it as well and tie it to some other things. So they're also used occasionally by some characters to basically make zombies, so kind of raise them from the dead. And they kind of have that power over life and death. And yeah, but also for some reason, while thinking of that, I was going between that and harpies. They're not really the same, except that they're both usually portrayed as female, and they both have wings.
Yeah, when you said Valkyries, I was like, yeah, they're kind of like harpies.
Yeah.
So they're what my mom would call brain neighbors.
Yeah.
They live next to each other, even though they're not really related.
Yeah. I mean, and harpies are usually much more aggressive.
Mm-hmm. And I think, do harpies actually have like arms, or do they just have wings?
I think
I guess
they
it probably
have arms.
depends.
I guess it depends on where you see them. Yeah.
That's the whole point of this conversation. Sometimes they have arms, sometimes they don't have arms.
Yeah.
Depends on which culture is interpreting the creature.
Yeah. But yeah,
And
Valkyries.
then space worms.
So are Valkyries usually like sentient, if you would, like you know, on par with humans? That's kind of what I thought.
Yeah. Or maybe even more intelligent, more like angelic kind of creatures.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I guess I would say it does seem like a Norse angel.
Yeah, it basically is.
Battle angel.
Yeah. Usually deciding whether or not those who die in battle are worthy to go to Valhalla.
Seems like an angel.
What's your kill count, man?
Celestial.
It was pretty good. Not good enough.
No.
Well, that's our show for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for joining us. If you want to engage, recently we've been telling you, like, hey, leave a comment. But
people don't
if
watch
YouTube. If
YouTube.
you're not on YouTube, you don't have no comments probably. So you can hit us up at nerd_variety on Twitter. We're trying to get more active there. So tell us what some of your favorite mythical creatures are. We'd love to hear them. What's going on?
We're also on Instagram and Facebook. So become our friend. Follow us. We'll check you out. You know,
I need friends.
And we'll talk to you. You know,
it's not like you have anything better to do.
Yeah.
Let's all talk to each
other. We all need more friends right now.
Yeah.
I'm not crying. You're crying. It's fine.
I'm not actually.
So what's going on next week?
Josh is next week, I believe.
That is me. Yes. Oh, yes. We're talking about multiplayer games. With this COVID outbreak here, we are all mostly self-quarantined. Self-quarantined, or we're having to quarantine ourselves, or because of our government officials.
I know here we have a stay-at-home directive or something, whatever it's called.
Shelter in place.
Yeah.
Shelter in
place.
We
need that down here really soon.
We have,
but
Georgia,
you can still talk to your friends and play games with your friends, even in the comfort of your home. So we're gonna spit out some options for you, and we'll have a fun show about that.
Sounds good. I'm excited.
Right.
I'm
excited too.
Games.
Yeah. I like games. Yeah, I'll definitely have some research to do on what are some of the best quarantine games. Left 4 Dead is definitely on my list because we all need practice killing zombies just in case.
And The Division, but I'll go into that next week.
Yeah.
All right, but that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and until next time, nerd out.
And wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
20 seconds.
Don't go outside. I mean, you
stay
go outside,
at least 6 feet away from people.
Don't go to the store. Like,
okay, nerd out.
Sunshine. And then nerd out.
And then nerd out. Bye.